I keep coming back to a very specific, quiet moment involving Jordan Ashford. Amidst all the chaos surrounding her lately, the terrifying hit and run accident she suffered, the intense and fierce confrontation she recently had with a heavily pregnant Portia Robinson that ultimately triggered Portia's labor, and the endless legal drama involving Curtis Ashford and Isaiah Gannon, there was a brief second where the world seemed to completely stop for her. It was not the biggest, most dramatic scene of the week. It wasn't a shouting match or a tearful confession. It was just a fleeting glance, a subtle shift in her posture, and a moment where she gently placed a hand over her abdomen when she thought absolutely no one was watching her. Something about that moment stayed with me. I couldn't stop thinking about it. At first, it didn't seem important. We all naturally assumed she was just exhausted from the relentless pressure of her daily life. The lingering physical trauma from the hit and run accident that Brooklyn Quartermain is desperately trying to pin on Willow Kane, and the emotional toll of dealing with Curtis's assault charges. Jordan has always been a pillar of strength, a woman who carries the weight of the world on her shoulders without ever asking for help. But as I watched her carefully navigate the turbulent waters of Port Charles over these past few weeks, a strange realization began to wash over me. She did not look like a woman who was breaking under the immense weight of her circumstances. Instead, she looked like a woman who was fiercely guarding a fragile, beautiful secret. There was a softness in her eyes that we haven't seen in a very long time, a quiet contentment that sharply contrasted with the loud, chaotic drama of the Ashford family. It was as if she had a hidden reservoir of peace that no one else had access to. The more I think about it, the more the scattered pieces of Jordan's recent life begin to form a fascinating trail. Let us follow the thread together. Jordan has been curiously isolated lately. Yes, she is actively involved in the investigations, and yes, she recently met with Michael Corinthos to discuss her rejection of Jen Sidwell's offer for a German medical clinic, but emotionally, she is standing on a deserted island. She has deliberately distanced herself from Curtis, establishing firm boundaries as he navigates his impending plea deal and his complex, volatile dynamic with Portia. She is certainly not finding solace in Isaiah Gannon either. So, who is anchoring her? Who is the invisible force providing her with this quiet, unshakable strength? It doesn't seem accidental that her behavior has shifted so dramatically in the background of the main storylines. We have to look at the empty spaces in the canvas to see the full picture. And right now, the biggest empty space is shaped exactly like Shawn Butler. Shawn has been out on the West Coast, successfully running the operations of the newspaper, seemingly far removed from the daily grind and danger of Port Charles. But if you look closely at the timelines and listen to the subtle whispers, there are noticeable gaps. There are rumors of his sudden absence from the newspaper's daily operations, a shifting of responsibilities that suggests his focus is no longer in California. And then there is their son, TJ, whose own quiet absence from the front lines of the hospital drama speaks volumes. The pieces are slowly, deliberately sliding into place, creating a picture of a family that no one is openly talking about yet. Let us remember the deep, undeniable connection Jordan and Shawn have always shared. Their history is paved with immense sacrifices, unspoken promises, and a love that survived prison sentences, mob wars, and years of separation. Shawn has always been Jordan's ultimate protector, the man who would willingly walk through fire to ensure her safety. It makes perfect sense that in her most vulnerable moment, dealing with the aftermath of a hit and run and the intense stress of her daily life, her heart would call out to him. And Shawn, being the man he is, would never ignore that call. He would drop everything, leaving his comfortable life and prestigious title behind, to be the invisible shield she desperately needs right now. This brings us to the shadow beneath the story. The narrative we are supposed to see is Jordan surviving a traumatic hit and run and dealing with the exhausting Ashford family drama. But the hidden narrative, the one pulsating just beneath the surface, is something entirely different. I can't shake the feeling that Jordan Ashford is secretly pregnant. The physical symptoms are there. Carefully masked distress or lingering accident injuries. The sudden, overwhelming fatigue, the protective body language, the glowing aura that seems to defy her current stressful circumstances. But this is not just any routine pregnancy. This is a high-risk medical situation. We all know Jordan only has one kidney. Carrying a child under these delicate conditions requires immense care, meticulous medical supervision, and a rock-solid emotional support system. She would never embark on this dangerous journey alone, nor would she do it with a fleeting romantic interest. The father has to be someone deeply rooted in her heart, someone who understands the life or death stakes of her medical history. It isn't Curtis. It certainly isn't Isaiah. The only man who fits this profound emotional profile is Shawn Butler. And this implies something massive. Shawn has secretly been back in Port Charles for quite some time. He has been operating entirely in the shadows, visiting her, supporting her, and protecting her while the rest of the town looks the other way. He is the unseen shield guarding her from the fallout of the hit and run and the Sidwell investigation. Maybe there's another layer here. What if we're missing something even bigger about this family dynamic? If you ask me, Shawn didn't just come back for a brief romantic rendezvous in the dark. It is possible that he and Jordan have been secretly rebuilding their relationship for months, carefully constructing a safe haven away from the prying eyes of the Port Charles elite. I keep wondering whether this secret pregnancy is the ultimate catalyst that will finally bring their entire family back together in the light of day. Think about TJ. He has been going through his own intense emotional turmoil lately, and the sudden, quiet presence of his father in town could be exactly what he needs to ground himself. Imagine the immense power of that reunion. Shawn, Jordan, and TJ finally standing together as a completely united front, preparing to welcome a new life into the world. It is a beautiful possibility, a rare moment of genuine peace and restoration in a town that is so often defined by tragedy, loss, and endless betrayal. Despite the severe medical risks associated with Jordan's single kidney, there is a profound sense of calm surrounding this theory. With Shawn by her side, guarding her every step with his signature quiet intensity, I believe this new baby will be born into a world of absolute peace and security. Shawn will not let anything or anyone threaten Jordan's health or the safety of their unborn child. He is waiting for the exact right moment, likely when the pregnancy can no longer be hidden and the news officially breaks, to step out of the shadows and claim his family publicly. But in Port Charles, peace is always balanced precariously on the edge of a knife. As we look at the broader landscape of the town, the tension is undeniably growing. Sonny Corinthos is currently standing at a very dangerous crossroads. His empire is fracturing from within. Jason Morgan, his most trusted ally and lifelong enforcer, has returned from his WSB captivity fundamentally changed. Jason has made it abundantly clear that he intends to leave the mob entirely to prioritize his son Danny, leaving a massive, gaping hole in Sonny's inner circle. Sonny Corinthos is a man who operates on absolute loyalty, and right now, his world is completely devoid of it. The betrayal he feels over Jason Morgan's decision to step away from the organization is a wound that runs incredibly deep. Jason was supposed to be the one constant in Sonny's chaotic life, the enforcer who would stand by his side until the bitter end. With Jason prioritizing Danny and actively cutting ties, Sonny is left staring into a terrifying abyss. He knows that predators like Jen Sidwell, who has been setting deadly revenge traps across the city, can smell blood in the water. Sonny is isolated, vulnerable, and in desperate need of a loyal, unshakable right hand who understands the brutal realities of their world. This is where the shadow of Shawn Butler grows darker and significantly more imposing. Shawn is not just a devoted family man. He is a highly trained warrior with a deep, complicated history with Sonny. The tension rises exponentially when you realize that Shawn's secret return might not solely be about Jordan and the baby. What if Sonny, sensing his own impending downfall and the loss of Jason, reached out to the one man he knows can never be broken? Shawn could easily walk away from his executive position on the West Coast. Running a newspaper is a noble pursuit, but protecting your family and your oldest allies is a primal calling. I can feel something massive approaching. The underlying theory is that Sonny is willing to pay an astronomical price for Shawn's permanent protection, perhaps even offering him a full 10% of the Corinthos empire and wealth. This isn't just a job offer. It is a massive transfer of power, a desperate bid by Sonny to ensure that he, Shawn, Jordan, and their growing family are protected forever. Sonny needs a show of force, a statement to the criminal underworld that the Corinthos organization is not weak. He knows that Shawn's primary motivation will always be providing for Jordan and their new baby, making this incredible financial arrangement the perfect, unbreakable bond between them. Yet nothing has been confirmed. The town remains completely oblivious to the silent, strategic moves being made in the dark. Jordan continues to walk the busy halls of General Hospital and the PCPD, her beautiful secret growing day by day, safely hidden behind her unwavering professional demeanor. Shawn remains a ghost, a protective phantom lingering just out of sight, watching over his family and waiting for the perfect moment to step into the light. Sonny sits alone in his office, plotting his next move against Sidwell, knowing that his ultimate insurance policy is quietly waiting in the wings. The pieces are all on the board, but the players have not yet made their final move. Something feels incredibly unfinished. We are walking down a dark, quiet corridor, catching only glimpses of the truth through cracked doors. When will Shawn finally reveal himself? Will it be when Jordan's pregnancy becomes public knowledge, forcing them to stand together in the light? Or will it be when the violence surrounding Sonny finally erupts, requiring Shawn to step out of the shadows with his weapon drawn to protect the people he loves? We don't have the answers yet. We are just passengers on this storytelling journey, watching the shadows stretch and merge. Until the truth finally breaks the surface, we will keep watching, keep questioning, and keep following the invisible threads.
Goodbye. Please like, subscribe, and comment on the GH Spoilers Daily channel.